Hello lovelies, welcome. I'm Leanie. Let's start crafting and make it till our eyes smile. That's what I like to say. DIY number 1. I'm going to use folk art, chalk paint, and I am just kind of like a dry brushing the whole entire pumpkin because I do want to see that orange coming through that white paint. So after I do this, I let it dry, and now I'm going to press along the edges of where I want to place my craft paper. And I get this paper from Hobby Lobby. I usually use an eraser from a pencil or the end of a paintbrush, press along the sides, so when you flip it over, you see exactly where you want to cut it. See? So after I cut it out, I'm going to get some of my Mod Podge, because you know I love my Mod Podge, and I'm going to put some all there where I'm going to place the paper. And I do put a little bit extra on the edges, and then I put a very light coat on the back of my paper, just so it doesn't wrinkle. And now I'm going to place it right there on top. Press out all the bubbles, wrinkles, make sure it's flat and sits nice. I do press a little more on the edges because I do want to sand that off. So I'm not too worried if it's hanging over a little, but I do like to put a generous amount of Mod Podge on the edges of when I'm using it. So now I'm going to use some of that folk art wax, and it's in the dark brown. I'll leave that in my description box exactly what I'm using for you. And I'm just going to put a little bit of water on my napkin, and then I put the wax on top, and then you see me just kind of wipe it right over the pumpkin and the paper on the edges mainly. And then if it's too much, I get my paint and I just give it a really light coat just to lighten it up some. So now I'm going to get my folk art gold, and it's an antique gold, and I'm just going to put a little bit of the gold lines inside my black little diamonds right there. After I do that, I do get little gold dots. I do add right there in where the diamonds connect, and I'm going to add my little dots. I don't know, I think it looks so pretty. I love when Mackenzie Childs does this. I am a big fan of hers. And I really like when I use the Harlequin, because that is my favorite pattern. I like to put the little gold dots in between each diamond where they connect. I love when it dries and the gold shimmers. It is so pretty. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. So after it dries, I get my white chalk paint again, and I'm just going to dry brush and wipe. As you can see, I just want a little bit of the touch of the white in each diamond mixed with that gold and the black. It looks so pretty. I want to give it more of a French shabby chic country style. So it's a shabby chic French country style is what I'm shooting for. So hopefully I get that. So now that my eyes are smiling, I'm very happy with what it's looking like. I want to paint some Mod Podge right over the entire pumpkin and over the paper, because I would like to wipe it if I have to, or I don't know. I really want to keep this piece because I really fell in love with this. So now I'm using this deco mesh kind of bubble rope. I don't know, that's what I call it, from the Dollar Tree. And I cut a piece of that with a piece of that Dollar Tree lace ribbon. I love using this ribbon. To me, it looks so shabby chic. Very beautiful. So I'm just going to tie them right there together in a knot. I'm going to glue it right on top of my pumpkin, and now I'm going to get a little piece of floral and put it right there on top of that. I got that from a piece of floral bush from Dollar Tree, and I just added it to the top. DIY number 2. Now these little pictures I got, they were from Father's Day, and I found these at Target. I got them on clearance and they were really cheap, 25 cents. So it was like, hey, I need to get these. I have to have them all. I just thought I could use them for all kinds of things. So when you do find great deals like that, and even if it's not to the season, I would grab them if they're a good price, because you can always use them for something different. So since I'm making a tier tray, I wanted to add the same paper inside. So I did a paint inside to cover that, which I really didn't have to because I'm going to put the paper in the center, but I did anyway. And then I did a dry brushing around the frame on the inside, the sides, and on the edges. So now I'm pressing it right in there with my Mod Podge. And then I'm going to do the same thing to match my pumpkin. We're going to repeat that same process with the gold and with the white and with the gold dots, because I want them all to match on my tier tray. I do find it a lot easier to use the bottom of my paintbrush for my dots. I put it into the gold and then I just press down in there, and it makes a perfect size and the perfect amount of a dot right there in the center of each diamond connection. So now I'm just going to do a light brushing. It's a dry brushing, not a lot of paint on it. I just use very little on the edges of my frame, and then I'm just going to wipe it with some of that brown wax. And then I get my brush and I just go lightly over with the white again, just to kind of soften that up. Now I'm going to use some of these Dollar Tree stickers. They are so pretty. They remind me of the fall. And I'm just going to add it right there in the center. And I added a little bit of glue behind it just to make sure that it stays. And I love this Mod Podge adhesive. I just sprayed it right around the whole entire frame just to make sure that everything stays. Okay, DIY number 3, we're going to begin by using one of these terracotta pots I got from the Dollar Tree. 3 come in 1 pack, and I'm just going to use one of them for my tier tray. You can do more if you like, but I just chose to do the one, and I just dry brushed the same chalk folk art plaid paint all around the bottom of my pot. I didn't too much focus on the rim because I am going to do something with that to match the theme we are doing for this tier tray. So again, we're going to use our folk art wax, and we're just going to put a little bit on that napkin, and I'm just going to rub it on there. I don't want it to be exactly perfectly neat. Don't worry about that when you're doing this. You want it to have that weathered, shabby feel to it. That's what I'm going for this one. So now I'm going to use the Mod Podge, and we're going to cut some of this paper that we've been using, and I'm just going to trim it to fit the trim of that terracotta pot. But first I'm going to put a good amount of the Mod Podge around that rim and then place my paper. I'm not too worried about the top because, as you can see, I'm just going to tuck it under because we won't be able to really see that because we are going to fill the terracotta pot up. So now I'm just piecing this all together because I want to make use of all my paper. And make sure I put the Mod Podge all around again because it's, and I'm just going to do the same process all the way around. And I do put a little bit of that Mod Podge on the inside also, so it will stick and stay folded. I'll go around the outside and then I'll go through the inside. I do go around the whole entire outside of the pot. But first, I'm going to add a touch of that gold here and there. We want everything to match. So I'm kind of using the same process that I did the other two DIYs because I want this tier tray to match and be all cohesive and really nice when you look at it. Like a little full theme, right? I'm adding a little bit more of that brown wax. And I'm going to do it on the side of the rim just to kind of give it a little more weathered look. Now I'm just adding some of the little gold dots right in between the little points where the points connect. And I like to use the bottom of my paintbrush, and it makes it really easy, where it's a perfect little dot. And then I just get a little bit of the gold and put it right in between the black diamonds. And I put a little bit there just so it kind of makes it stand out. And then I add a little bit of the white. Not a lot, just a little, and then I just wipe it right back off. So now I'm just going to Mod Podge the whole entire pot again, just because I want everything to stay really nice. And I can dust it and clean it if I have to. Now these I got from the 99 Cents Only store. They were little sweater pumpkins. And I just took the sweater off the pumpkin and removed the stem. I did paint a light coat of that orange. I'll leave that in my description box. It's a plaid folk art orange. And I painted the pumpkin, let it dry. And then after I did that, I got my brown wax from Plaid Folk Art. And I just did a good wiping on that till my eyes were smiling and my heart was singing. Now I'm getting that stem that I took off the pumpkin, and I'm just going to paint it with some gold. And I just used the acrylic paint from Plaid, and it's also folk art. After I did that, I got some leaves that I took off a flower bush stem that I had, and I just put it right there with the stem and gluing it right into the pumpkin. I like the color of the green that the leaves were. I thought it went really nice with that gold and with the pumpkin. I don't know, the pumpkin looked very, to me, French country, antique looking, vintage. Fell in love with it. And then I got some more of the gold, and I put it right in between each of the little creases of the pumpkin. This pumpkin really did come out very beautiful. So now I'm just going to glue my pumpkin right there on top of that pot. Now to keep everything matching, I added around the rim that mesh rope right underneath that pumpkin where the pumpkin and the pot connect. And I get a little piece of that Dollar Tree. I love this Dollar Tree lace ribbon. And I get a little bit of that mesh rope again, and I just tie a knot with both of them and then glue it right there where I want it to be in the front. Gosh, I talk weird sometimes. I even catch myself saying the weirdest things. I got one of these Dollar Tree sunflower stickers and I added it right in the center of my pot. And there you have it. Before we get started on the next DIY, I like to share today's video is part of Fall Collab hosted by Liana at Liana DIY. For great fall inspiration, please check out my description box for the links to the playlist and to the host channel. Have fun and happy crafting. So now we're going to start with this one, and this one's really easy and simple. I'm going to get one of these little Dollar Tree signs, and I love that it already had the black and white background. I don't know, I'm a sucker for that. I love the black and white checkers like this, the buffalo check. Love it. So I just got the wax, and I just lightly waxed in the center where it says Welcome Fall, and then I got my chalk paint and I just did a dry brushing around the frame because I love that wood look already. And I did the sides and I did the front of it where, you know, the trim is. And see how I just went and dotted it along. I didn't want it to be fully painted completely. I wanted it to be a fall feel where it's nice and cozy and weathered. So now I'm looking at it and I softened it up a little and did a nice dry brush in the center where it says Welcome Fall, just to lighten it up. And then I wipe all around with my napkin. And I use the same stickers because it matched the other one. And I just added a tiny little sunflower to the top. And that was easy and simple. Now, for this DIY, I got one of those Dollar Tree acorns. And then I'm just going to put a dab of glue. And then I'm going to get that really beautiful lace fabric ribbon from Dollar Tree and wrap it all around my little acorn. And I add, like you see, a little dot of glue each time I wrap, and then I'll add a little dot of glue, wrap, add a little dot of glue. And then I start shaping the bottom with the glue, and then after I do that, I'm just going to trim all the way around. And if you need to fix it on the bottom, don't worry, just keep moving forward. Get a little piece of that lace, cut it to the way you want it to stay on the bottom, and then just trim it because you're not going to see the glue. And after I did all that, and it was where I wanted it to be, I sprayed it with my Mod Podge sealant spray. I love using that. Love it, love it, love it. Makes it so much easier. So now I'm getting some of that paint and I'm just painting. It's really beautiful mustard yellow. I will leave it in my description box for you what it is called, but it is by Plaid and I absolutely love that color. I'm getting that same mesh rope from Dollar Tree and I'm just going to get some twine that I also got from Dollar Tree and I'm just going to needle it in right in the center of that mesh rope. I get some of my big wood beads from BB Craft and I'm just going to put some of that twine in there and glue the top so it kind of looks like the mesh tubing is connected to it. And then what I'm going to do is the same thing to the other side. So now that mesh rope looks like it's connected to the beads. I'm getting that acorn and I'm just going to put it through the rope of what I had already put in there. I put a little string in there. And then I put some hot glue within the bead, put the twine, and push that twine into that bead. Oh my goodness, lovelies. I am so excited and I absolutely adore this this garland. It's not your average bead garland you see on tier trays, so I think that's why I totally fell in love with it. And it's easy to make. All I did with this tassel was just wrap that twine around my 3 fingers a couple times, and then I cut the bottoms where the loops were, got some twine and tied it on the top by just twirling it around. And I added some twine in the middle of it where it folded, and I don't know, I just made a little string in there. Easy to make. You can also buy tassels at stores, craft stores, and add those if you don't want to make yours. I double knot the string that went through, and I did glue, as you can tell, some of that beautiful Dollar Tree fabric lace ribbon on the top. After I was done doing that, I just added a teeny bit of glue, not very much, and I'm just going to get something. You can use a pin, I don't know, I used the bottom of a flower that I had cut, some greenery, and I just used the wire piece and pushed it right through the bead, and then glued the, a little more glue to make sure that it doesn't fall off. Gosh, I'm talking all over the place. But it absolutely was beautiful. This, I don't know, I can't even express how much I love this. So fall, and you can use it through the whole fall season, and not just on a tier tray. You can put it anywhere. I added 2 bows on each side, and I do decide to paint the beads with that beautiful mustard yellow. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? And it's so unique and different. I don't know, to me it is. I hope you like this one as much as me. Now, final look, everything put together. Thank you so much, lovelies, for visiting me today. I hope you enjoyed. Please give this video a big thumbs up. It does help my channel grow, and I appreciate your kindness from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. If you're new, I hope you subscribe. I really love for you to be part of my Crafty Leanie World family. Don't forget to click that bell and hit all so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And to all my crafty lovelies returning, welcome back. Thank you so much. I adore you. It was my pleasure crafting for you lovelies today. Hugs, kisses, and fairy dust wishes. Be kind to yourself and others. Stay blessed. I'll see you in my next video.